How's it going, everybody? Now that I am back from vacation and I am actively working on uh, certification and stuff like that, I wanted to kind of give everybody kind of a heads up or an idea of what it is that I'm currently working on and stuff like that. I know I've been pretty quiet as of lately, and I do apologize about that. So, a quick recap over the past couple of weeks. I did go to Cisco Live in San Diego. Then, my wife and I went to Las Vegas for a week. We celebrated Father's Day. Um, I came home. Now I'm back to work. So, this is my first official week back to work. And what I am currently working on now is refreshing the CCNP Service Provider certification. I'm not going to retake any exams, but I have gone through the exam blueprints for the core, the routing, the VPN, and the automation exams. And by going through them, I realized that there was newer content on the exams that I hadn't uh, touched in a very long time, or ever for that matter. So there's some stuff that I've been having to dive into and things like that. And I am so I decided it probably would be in my best interest to refresh the CCNP. And what that really boils down to is going back through some training, reading up on some new content, taking some training, so on and so forth, just to kind of get myself back into the swing of things. I do want to get my service provider CCIE. That has always been a goal of mine, and I figure there's no better time than the present to go after this type of stuff. So, one of the things that is unfortunate about Cisco's certification portfolio now is the only CCNA you get is the CCNA. There are no specialist tracks to CCNA. So, because of that, there's a very big uplift in the amount of training that someone would have to go through if they wanted to go earn a CCNP in, whether it's security, service provider, enterprise, collaboration, so on and so forth. So while I was at Cisco Live, so if I rewind the clock to Cisco Live 2024 in Las Vegas, I took and passed the CCDE written exam, and that qualified me to take the practical. But reviewing the practical core and large-scale networking blueprints, I realized there was a lot of stuff that I didn't know, and I would have to go back through. So that's what I started doing, and I got quiet on the channel after that during the summertime because I wanted to enjoy the outdoors, and then so I started studying wireless. I did release a little bit of wireless content in the end of summer, early fall. And then I got quiet again because I started studying for security, because that was the next big chunk of the CCDE. And so, funny enough, my wife was talking about Cisco Live to a friend of hers, and she Googled my name. And one of the first things that popped up in Google was a Reddit post about me. And so that's actually why I'm recording this video. So she calls me. This all happened not long ago. And she goes, "Hey, did you know that Reddit is talking about you?" I'm like, "No. What's Reddit talking about me?" So apparently there's a post on Reddit about me being very quiet on the channel and thinking that something happened to me or that I'm not okay, so on and so forth. And I said, "Oh, okay, I'm good. Everything's great. I dialed back the content on the channel because I was busy studying. That's really what it comes down to be." So from September, October of last year until beginning of 2025, I was studying for my CCNP security exam. So I took the SCORE exam and the VPN exam. I got my NP in security, and once I got my NP in security, that opened up taking the security lab exam, And I was talking to my boss beginning of the year. I told him what my aspirations were, and I hadn't seen the new exam format, the CCIE lab for that, and I wanted to go get another CCIE. So he told me to go after it. So he's like, we'll figure some stuff out. So long story short, in March I took the security lab exam. I didn't do very well. That tells me I need to spend a lot more time in that track. So I came back home, and I knew the Cisco Live was coming up, so I went ahead and I talked to my boss again. I said, hey, listen, the CCDE practical can be taken at Cisco Live while I'm there. If I'm already there, why not give the CCDE practical a crack? I've never taken the exam before, so I'd be curious to know what it looks like. He goes, cool, schedule it. So that's exactly what I did. I took the practical at Live. I did not pass, but now I know what the exam consists of. And so for me, it's reconnaissance. What am I going in and having to face? I don't expect to pass these exams on the first attempt. It's very, very foolhardy to think, unless you already know what the exam's got on it, and nobody if you've never faced the exam before, it's highly unlikely that you'll be able to crack it the first time you take it. Not impossible, highly unlikely. I do know a few people that have taken lab exams and passed them on the first attempt. I am not that fortunate, nor am I that smart. So, because of all that and stuff like that, I have reshuffled the deck would be probably the best way to look at it. And I have been writing a couple of books for service provider. I started off at the CCIE, but I quickly realized that would be a very large undertaking, and it probably would make more sense to focus on the CCNP, bring myself up to that level, which is a much more obtainable certification for everybody. So, and because there's no, and going back to my point that I was making a couple minutes ago, there is no CCNA service provider or security or data center. So, because there isn't one, I was like, well, let me write one. Because if I were studying for a CCNP service provider, what would that look like? So I decided, and that's exactly what I'm doing, right? I've been writing the book for the past couple of months, and it does take some time. Now, mind you, I work a full-time job. I do have to deal with travel for work every once in a while. I'm married with kids, so obviously when I have time available to myself, like right now, it's I have a couple of hours at night where I don't have anything going on. The house is quiet, and that's exactly what I'm doing. I've got a lab spun up in Eve where I'm building lab topologies, and I'm going through the individual sections of the blueprint, and I'm labbing them out, documenting everything I'm seeing, and stuff like that. So there will be a video series that follows this. I do plan on doing the exact same thing for security, but that's going to take some time because that's going to be its own dedicated set of technologies. I am planning on, once I get through the service provider book, which is going to incorporate SP Core, the routing exam, the VPN exam, and the NSO portions of the automation exam, because NSO is on the CCIE exam. Once I have all of that completed, that'll go into this book. And then there will be a video series that follows it. I also am planning on recording a enterprise-specific content series, so layer 2 switching, EIGRP, DMVPN, FlexVPN for the enterprise section. Things that are applicable to enterprise and service provider. OSPF, BGP, multicast, MPLS VPNs, so on and so forth. That content will be split into its own series for service provider because there's overlap between the two, and I don't want to re-record the content just to label it a different thing. So I'm going to record a series of videos that is service provider focused, but it's going to incorporate both enterprise and service provider, trying to optimize my time here. So that is what I'm planning on doing. And then once I accomplish that, I am planning on taking Nick Russo's book, which is on an iPad sitting in front of me. I'm planning on taking that book. I plan on going through all the labs that he's built and labbing them out, making sure I understand how they work. then I want to rebuild the labs my own way, build them out into a workbook, and then, well, it probably won't be a workbook, probably more of a study guide. But anyway, the point being here is that I want to take Nick's book and I want to refresh it and update it to be version 5.1. So that'll include things like EVPN and a deep dive into segment routing. There are parts of segment routing I still don't know. Like, I don't know SRv6 yet. So it's going to take some time for me to read through the 3 books for segment routing. I've read 2 of them so far. I still have to read SRv6, and that's going to take some time for me to do. So that would be one of the slow roll processes for the NP Service Provider book as well. So that's basically what I've been up to. So is it going to be a long, slow process? It's going to be, but the workbook, the books that I'm writing, whether they're labeled study guide or whether they're labeled workbook, whatever they are, is my response to some folks both in the Reddit post and that have posted comments elsewhere that I come out with some great ideas for some training, but the follow through is much to be desired. And I agree with you on that. There are some things that I've started and then I've stopped because of one reason or another. And the book helps me keep on point. So I'm able to go into it. I'm not deleting anything. Like as you can see here, like in this instance here, it says newer XE image needed. If I look at traffic engineering, like there's certain things that are not working. I wasn't able to get iOS XR traffic engineering TE link and node protection to work when I first tried it out. So I'm not going to delete them. They are just gonna, but I'm not slowing down and letting a specific lab stop my progress. I'm adding labs in as I'm consistently working through this. I have a lab for inter AS option ABC, and I'll probably end up adding in D as well, which is a combination of A and B, and then doing carrier supporting carrier, doing unified MPLS, so on and so forth. So what I'm using the book to do is cover the topics of the blueprint for multiple exams at one time and knock them out. And the only reason I'm doing that the way that I'm doing it is because for Service Provider, you get 2 operating systems, iOS and XR. You get a little bit of NSO, which is completely separate from the rest of it, but it allows you to automate some things. So my plan is to take the book, incorporate all three plus a little bit of automation of the exams into one book, so that if somebody's wanting to dive into Service Provider, here's a book written to cover the content. That's going to be my CCNA to CCNP Service Provider refresh of what I haven't studied in a while. So obviously I've gone through some stuff pretty quickly because there's recalls pretty good, but I still have had to look some things up and stuff like that. My plan is once this is finished, I'm going to knock out the videos that are going to go with it. I do plan on doing the same thing for security at some point in the future, but that's going to take some time because that's a lot of stuff there too. But that's going to be broken up based off of the platform. So it'll be iOS security, ASA, firepower, ICE, WSA, ESA, so on and so forth. But there's a lot that goes into that one. And the security exam, there's a lot that goes into security. There's going to be some things I'm only going to be able to demo because I just don't have the ability to do it. So long story short, that is what I've got going on. I'm hoping to start recording the enterprise portions here very, very soon, but the workbook takes a lot of time. But the cool thing is once the workbook is written and completed, and I have a pretty good structure for the outline. It's very much a crawl, walk, run approach. And like, for example, I'm doing like layer 2 VPN. I'm doing a lot of MPLS first because that's the thing that I feel like I need to spend the majority of my time on out of the gate. But I will be adding in a dedicated section for OSPF, IS to IS, BGP, routed multicast, and then MPLS. As you can see, I've got a lot of individual labs built out because it's meant to be structured for somebody that's coming from the CCNA, working their way to the Service Provider CCNP, and then another book I'll be writing, which will pick up where the Service Provider NP book stops, and we'll pick up our CCIE. and it'll go into the things that I didn't cover in this book. So it's going to be a stepping stone, and it'll take it to the next level, so on and so forth. So I do have a plan for it, and the book is really there to try to keep me on task so I don't get distracted by other things. I still have the intention of doing an SD-WAN book. I still have the intention of doing a real-world networking book that is, covers a lot of these different things, and then a video series to follow. The book, it really is meant for me to make sure that the labs are all going to work. I can figure out the topologies ahead of time. I'm not sitting there trying to guess if it's going to work or not. So the book will be there as a known good configuration guide. That's really what it comes out to be. So that I don't have to sit there and try to go, I think this is how you configure it. I'll be able to reference the book, and I don't know if I'll show the book in the videos, but if you want the book, this one will probably be $50 as well. But I'm not going to set a price point yet because I'm not sure how many pages it's going to be. The long of the short is that I'm doing okay. I'm just trying to be better about follow through because feedback from you guys is important. I do pay attention to it. So it's one of those things where if you don't tell me what you'd like to see, I don't know what to do with it. And some people have commented on some stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's a valid point. So I am pretty bad about follow through. So, but it's one of those things where, I get either something happens and I get busy and I, lose focus on what I'm doing, or I get pulled away from it for one reason or another. Then the book is there to try to keep me on task and organized so that I do make it through whatever it is that I claim I'm going to be doing. So, but I'm also in not a big hurry, right? So I'm not trying to rush anything or anything like that. I'm trying to do this in a very much a regimented approach because I actually do enjoy doing it. Like, whether you realize it or not, I do actually enjoy labbing this stuff up, making stuff work, seeing pings work and traces trace the correct way and stuff like that, and knowing how to manipulate stuff. That's pretty cool to me. So I do plan on going through all these labs, making sure that they all work, so on and so forth. So that's pretty much what's going on. I do apologize about being not as up to date and stuff like that, but what I think I might do is I might do a specific. I might lab out some things here and there, like do a video a week, and just be like, okay, here's something like that. I don't know what that's going to look like yet because I don't want to start. I might record a bunch of videos for enterprise, get the enterprise sections, layer 2 switching, EIGRP, DMVPN, FlexVPN. I might get all those videos recorded based off of what I did in the enterprise workbook, and then record the videos to match those, and then just do like a slow roll of those videos over a period of time, which will hopefully buy me time to get this workbook done, bang out all those videos, and then start working on the CCIE stuff. But I don't know yet. We'll see how that plays out. I'm not in a big hurry with that stuff either. So I wasn't planning on having this video go terribly long. I wanted to keep it relatively short. I am very wordy. I apologize, but that is that. So I'm good to go. Thanks for your concern, but I'm going to go ahead and stop it here. I've got some more labs I want to try to get done before I call it a night and go to bed, because I like to get up in the morning and get some other stuff done. It is summertime right now, so I like to be outside and enjoying the weather. So I'm not trying to be in front of the computer all the time, but come when it starts getting cold out again up here, that'll probably be I'll reverse that process. I'll be spending more time in front of the computer and stuff like that. Anyway, if you guys have any questions, comments, concerns, feedback, throw it down in the comment section below, and I'll catch all of you fine folks in the next one. Have a good one, everybody.